Morning, everybody. And what a beautiful morning it is. And then for anybody that can actually hear it, and I know yesterday there was a few people that turned around and said, listen to the bird song. And I am so privileged because I have them all around me, which is why I have so many. It's quite, as you can see, it's quite overgrown. So, and these, my wisteria, one of my favourite things. And there's so many birds sitting in the bush just to the right of me. It's like this big ivory all the way along the fence. And there's loads and loads of little birds in there. So in the morning, the sound of them is just, it just fills my cup, so to speak. Which is so relevant for what I do within my business. My academy is Thrive Beyond Boundaries Academy, and it's all for incredible, empowering, exceptional women that want to thrive beyond, well, belief, really, because we're all limitless at the end of the day. But the reason why I do this, I'd shared on Monday about the fact that I was in the corporate world for over 23 years and fell into the traps that so many women do when they're in that working environment and, working at 1,000 miles an hour and trying to prove themselves, always trying to volunteer, because they have this false belief that the only way they're going to get by is by being this superhero and just doing. And the reality is that we need to learn to stop and slow down and re-energize. And when we are trying to do things within the business, it needs to be strategically so we can elevate our careers in the correct way rather than overdoing things and burning ourselves out. And one of my key pillars within my Freedom Transformation Formula, for which I help my clients with, is all about re-energizing, re-injecting vitality and energy in our body. And one of those steps that's there is about enhancing what we do. And some of it is around earthing and being able to connect with nature, and literally that re-energizing our bodies and fueling ourselves. And in conjunction with that is, the energy that we have by, like I am right now, is like, connecting with nature, having the sunlight, being surrounded by all these beautiful things that again re-energizes us. And the other one is eating. And what I mean by eating is actually consuming, is what we're consuming inside and outside of our bodies. And it's so vital that we understand what that is, not bringing all those toxins into our body, with things like our makeup, our skincare, our hair care, what we're putting into our gut, and what we're eating in terms of food, because there's so much stuff that's over-processed, full of sugar, full of toxins and chemicals. And it's unbelievable the impact it has on our bodies. Which leads me to really my husband's story and why I do one of the things that I do within my business. So my husband, unfortunately, he's been medically retired since 2017. He has lots of health issues, which have come from a result of the fact that he's got chronic back problems. He's had 3 failed back surgeries, one of which of them, the scar tissue healed around his nerve. And when they opened him up the second time, they discovered this. So they then cut the scar tissue away from the nerve and nicked the nerve. So as a consequence, he's in pain 24/7. And as a result of being in pain that severe, as anybody can imagine, it can be so debilitating. And he's on like morphine patches, he's on those 24/7, he's got like stem stimulation, which is in his back. And the only way I can describe that is it's like a TENS machine inside your spine, and it's got the cables running up. By the way, good morning, Sarah, sorry, can't my eyes. So good morning, Sarah, lovely to see you. But he's got these cables running up his back. He's also taking other medications, and as you can imagine, the impact that has on your overall health and well-being, because your gut is being impacted, your mind's being impacted, your inflammation of the skin, it's just being compounded over and over again with those daily toxins that are going into your body. Unfortunately, because he's in so much pain, it's been a requirement. The knock-on effect meant that gradually his mental and physical functioning has gradually shut down. And I can only describe him as an individual that was sort of effectively like in a zombie state. You know, he'd be almost catatonic some days, where he was laying on the floor and just sleeping, but then at night not getting any sleep because he was in so much pain. You can imagine the impact on that is that your physical and your mental recovery is being impacted massively. Now, one of my amazing good friends, Lorraine Wesselby, who I met through the Santander Women's Leadership Program as a mentor with both mentors and help other incredible women. And she actually works for a company as an independent consultant called Arbonne. And she said to me, look, Keely, she said, would you mind taking, just trialling out this gut health product and also, this skin elixir that helps produce natural collagen and also these greens. So she said, look, would you be welcome for Dean to try those out and see if it helps him? Good morning, Lisa. Lovely to see you in Australia. How are you doing? Anyway, so he did try all these products. And one of the most amazing things quite immediately was the fact that he started seeing a change in his nails and his skin, so much so that one of my friends came around and she went, oh, you're looking very healthy, Dean, which was absolutely fabulous. And he started taking them on a regular basis, and because we started seeing some improvements on it, yeah, Sarah, yeah, it is really impactful, isn't it? Anyway, so he was taking these, and then the next thing he started doing was taking the mushroom powder, and it started having an impact on helping to bring his stress levels down because it's got like 5 types of mushrooms in it. He then started feeling the inflammation reducing because of the benefits that it has. And the final thing that he started doing was because of his sleep being so poorly, as he started having an inner calm, which has got ashwagandha, lethirin, and I apologise if I said that wrong, and saffron in it, and along with that herbal infusion tea, and he was taking that an hour before he went to bed. Anyway, as a result of doing that, it meant his sleep went from 55% quality to 85% quality almost immediately over the next few days. And of course, the result of that meant that his mental and his physical recovery went from the same levels up until 85%. Because as you can imagine, when we're not sleeping properly, the impact it has on us is so huge. You know, it has an impact on our mental functioning, we get things like brain fog and memory loss. It stops us being able to process things and have clarity and be able to have the energy to be able to perform at our highest on a day-to-day basis. And simply by making those changes in his life, I went from having a husband that was almost catatonic on a day-to-day basis, so much so I didn't even know what I was waking up to on a day-to-day basis. And for the first time in so many years, I felt that we suddenly had a future together, you know, as a couple, where we're actually having conversations and he's able to function. Is he going to be physically fit and his back resolved? No. But on a level where we can actually have good conversations and actually feel like he's been able to contribute in some way, you know, be able to plan anything, able to plan. And what a difference it made in my life. So now people ask me, why do I do what I do? Why have I introduced Arbonne to my business? Because I believe by making these changes, by improve what we're putting in and on our bodies, All right, I don't. Well, yeah, don't you love the internet? It has such a massive impact on our lives, and if I can help improve at least one person's life, one amazing, incredible female, not just female, but men as well, but within my business, and help them to be in their A game every day, be able to improve how they're feeling, how energized they are, then that makes me happy. And that's why I introduced R1 into my life, because I believe it will help so many individuals, and it has a massive link to what I do within my business. And yeah, so simply by making those changes. And that's why I thought it was so important to share Dean's story and how it's helped him and helped us as a couple in our relationships, and be able to, see a future within our lives. And wouldn't that be magical if we can do exactly the same for others? And it's in so many ways, with our skincare, our hair care, our makeup, even like I was listening this morning, things like our toothpaste, if we can make those changes in our lives and take those toxins out, it does so much for us. So anyway, I don't want to witter on anymore, but thank you for listening. Thank you, Sarah. And lovely to see you, Lisa. It'd be lovely to catch up with you in Australia. So one of my great, wonderful best friends, Lisa, took a leap of faith and went to Australia earlier this year. And she's off enjoying life and being free. Sorry, my throat has just gone. But anyway, have a fabulous, wonderful, magical day, everybody. And just enjoy the beauty around you. My wisteria, I absolutely love it. It's taken me since COVID to get it to that position. How magical is that?